Привет из Дубая. С вами передача «Голубь мира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about doubts and let's start with the definition.
Doubts, that is a very useful habit. For example, if you are a researcher or scientist, if you will believe to everyone and everything, you will believe in Loch Ness or big Yeti or cycles on the cornfields. But scientists always think, if it is possible, I should check it. And fact-checking is a very crucial skill, and we have a lot of lessons in School of Troubleshooters about how to doubt. For example, how to make doubts. For example, critical thinking, research, and market analysis. A lot of people trying to mislead everyone to make their companies or their wealth bigger, and it is quite common. If you will, for example, summarize all SIM cards of all telecom operators in any country, you will find that their amounts at least triple more than amount of citizens. And the reason is because some of them are not already in use. For example, they are not active for 8 months or something like this, but everyone wants to be big. If you are big, you could make big deals.
But when it comes to doubts, like, do we need to put like a borderline between the skepticism or like a healthy, I would say, like unsure of the reality, unless we have it like a fact check? And when it comes to fact check, what should be the measure of us like actually believing thing?
You know, when you are grown up, you will always doubt everything. For example, your kid broke the window in the school, or for example, your girl would give some thoughts about one guy who was trying to, how to say, to pull the hair, yes?
Pull the hair?
Pull the hair. And if you will ask another side, you will find completely another picture. I was head of security for Ukrainian Alpha Bank, and I was at age 24, and it was very suddenly for me, and I was really astonished. I was talking with one person, with another person about same obstacle, but they will picture in completely different way. But we also have video cameras and microphones, and you know, video cameras and microphones, they could not support any of this version. It would be another version. So if you are grown up, and for example, if you are head of security, you have 3 sources, and that they are compete each with another. And you know, after several months or several years of your work, you will understand that some people are trustworthy and some of them not. But if you talk about techniques, it is also sometimes could mislead you, because you will see not the whole picture or wrong perspective.
You were mentioning that you actually would speak to a different, I would say, like a victims or maybe possible witnesses of the situation. But sometimes, like if you expressing your doubt, people actually might be putting some sort of like a defensive mode or maybe even decisive mode. So how to conduct those like investigations or researches or even simple questions in a way that it's like a casual curiosity, or maybe like mix your questions with a different with something else so that you get more or less clean data.
We are learned this how to do this on a level of interrogation. And when you ask people and they don't want to answer, you should go from different ways and to show that you know something, and you just help them to stay clear. If they will keep silence, they will fall deeper in the pit, and then they will be captured by police or some other forces. And you know, this is not an easy. You should talk with the people round by round. For example, if you have several victims or several participants of some occasion, you should talk to everyone with a smile, with a cup of tea or coffee in a very slow mode, because that's not about what they will tell, but it is also how they will behave. And sometimes they will give you some words, and after several meetings, you will understand which of them are more likely to be true, and you will return these words to another person's. So this is like a process to peel potato, or maybe to peel an onion. So you will take layer by layer, and you will go deep to the middle of the object.
And if you put it like in a different way, like from the perspective of the person who has doubts, like what should be the mindset of us hearing like any piece of information? Like for example, when in a company they say like, hey, we are the family, or in relationship we're gonna say like, hey, I will love you forever, or anything like this. So what we should be aware of, what we should be like really criticizing internally, or maybe having like a board of directors, like really trying to accept certain ideas that comes into our mind.
Right now, I am 15 years old, and I do not believe in love, I do not believe in family, and I do not believe in nothing, not because I was treated by life. This is because I was looking for several hundred of problems of my clients, of my employees, and so on. And you know, if you have your secrets, you should never tell them to your relatives, to your neighbors, to your employees, because you know there is a saying in Russian language: you will have always truly enemies, but you will very often have false friends. So when you have an enemy, you know that it is an enemy. But if it is someone who pretend to be a friend, you will never know. Maybe this is a hidden enemy. And when you spoke with someone, you should understand that there are several cycles of information, of obstacles, and for example, zero level should be just up to you. You could never be completely open. And you know, when you will talk with your spouse and he or she will tell you, come on, I'm telling you everything, it never happened to be true.
And when it comes to doing all of the like a fact checking, what should be the level of depth till which you want to stop, or maybe make sure, okay, like this is not really worth of to check your doubt?
You know, there is not about just to picture how it was happen in your mind. When you spoke with several peoples, you should draw like several universes, like universe of Maxim, universe of Oleg, and universe of John, and universe of Julie. And then you should compare it. And if, for example, several of these universes in some small parts, in some small vectors would be the same, okay, maybe you could believe. But if there would be just opposite, you should understand there is a conflict in heads, conflict in information field, conflict in this situation. But when you're trying to believe to person who are sitting close to you, each time it is the right things. For example, I know that Maxim right now telling me not the whole truth, but I will show all my respect and all my happiness to hear his version, and I will provoke him to go deeper. And sometimes the scheme is the same, but some small details are quite different. There is also the saying, which is Arabic. When Arab people do interrogation, they always say the same question. And if you will ask why you do the same question, they will say, yes, questions are the same, but answers are quite different. For example, if you will ask the same person about some situation for several days, like on the next day, after 1 week, and after 1 month, you will find that a lot of small details would be lost in his or her mind, because when you are a liar, you could not understand and you couldn't remember everything. If you are telling the truth, you do not afraid of anything, and you will just like make Xerox from your mind, and it would be the same digits, the same connections, the same colors, the same people doing the same things.
So I guess like for a professional liar, it's good to have like a 3D Xerox in their mind so that at least they could believe into something. But when it comes to dealing with the people, because let's say like if we would be perceived as the person who is always like putting the doubt in anything, probably it could affect maybe even a relationship or whatever. You know, like sometimes people might be treated you as the one with a lot of spike, so that they naturally want to interact with you. But somehow you still need to, you know, like be nice, be diplomatic, but still yet like have your doubts, but not really show them. So how to deal in this case?
I will tell you from the example. I have a deputy, his name was Alexander Golovko, and he was a very old one. He was like 25 or 30 years older than me. And sometimes we were talking with completely criminals. And previously he was in a special form, he was a military man. And I was saying, Alexander, how are we going to talk with them? You are policeman or former policeman, but they are stealers and murderers and so on. And he told me, if I would treat them like rubbish, like slaves, they will kill me, or they will damage my property, or maybe they will treat my family. But I'm always talk with them with high respect, and sometimes I even help in some small matters, and they feel this respect and they give it back. And it was very funny. Yes, you could be an interrogator, you could be some researcher, and you could have doubts and you will ask questions, but always do it with respect, and you should describe and explain why you do it. It's not about you, it's not about your doubts. It's about to establish truth as clear as possible.
And my last question will be how knowing about doubts could help to make this world a better place.
Maxim, almost each week I have conversation with some companies which are stuck in negotiations because they couldn't move on, because they have some documents, they have some promises, broken or kept promises, and they are always saying, this is not what you think, this is not what is written, we have another arrangement or agreement. And I always trying to ask them, okay, what is your thoughts? And then I do the same with different sides. And after 5 or even 10 meetings, suddenly we understand that people who are signed the same contract have different mindset, and they have different hopes, and they doesn't match. And we should make a draft of another agreement, additional agreement, to make their situation clear. But if we will not if we will not sign another document with help of these documents which are already sealed, we will not move on.
As they say, per aspera ad astra. А мы рассмотрели навык сомнения и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира.